Welcome, this is Shakti Carola Nevrin and I live on Maui, so that's why I do most of my work online. So today we're going to talk about the new moon, and depending on what sign it is, it will start a whole new circle of emotional maturation. And depending on where that's happening in your chart, in your personal birth chart, it will help you to start that process on your own. So if you hang in there, go to the end of the video, you will get access to your free birth chart, and then you can get very specific with the more general information I'm intending to give you today. Today I will be talking about the new moon for November, which is happening in Scorpio. And even if the new moon is not as spectacular as the full moon is, because it's kind of invisible, but especially that quality of a new beginning and that invisibility of that new beginning happening in the darkness and in the deeper layer of our personality, our inner world, fits very well with the Scorpio this month. So I would say the new moon in Scorpio is especially well placed there. So we will talk about the Scorpio archetype, the personality, and what you can do in a practical manner to use these specific energies and starting a new cycle inside of yourself. You might ask yourself, why even bother with the moon cycle? And I think we are all very interested in the moon and where it is in its waxing or waning phase, because we can see it with our naked eyes. And our ancestors always have felt that connection, and they have planted and harvested according to the moon cycle. So there is some kind of deep mystery connected with the moon. So that's, I believe, the reason why we're so attracted to keep track of where the moon is and which sign and what it does. Throughout the year, the full moon and new moon cycles weave themselves through the signs of the zodiac. And depending on in which sign the new moon or the full moon is happening, this is what is emphasized. This is where is an emotional opening to sense things in a particular way. In astrology, everything comes back to the main document, which is your birth chart, your horoscope. So in your birth chart, the moon position will give you information about what you truly need in order to be happy. So it's a source of joy and happiness. So it also symbolizes your driving need, what you need in order to feel safe. And in general, we can look at the moon as an emotional filter, to filter the world through, all experiences through. So we can call the moon in your chart your heart and soul. So imagine if a new moon or full moon is happening in the same sign your birth moon is in. So you could imagine that everything gets very emphasized here. So that's why it's always very helpful when you're interested in astrology to know your own chart and to know where all the general transits are happening in your chart, because then you will really know the transiting forces impacting you in your personal life and how you deal with that the best way. Because I believe to have your own birth chart available is so important, I offer you a free birth chart. So the only thing you need to do is go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, and then you will get free access to your free horoscope. And you will also get what I call lovestone report, which is based on your Venus position in your chart and gives you the birthstone, the true birthstone, which will support your heart. And don't we want that all? So it helps with healing and our ability to connect with others. A little bit about me. I have been an astrologer for 37 years. I'm a professional astrologer. I do most of my work online through Skype, but also on the phone and in person here on Maui, where I live. and I'm a published author, and I've done a lot of different things throughout my life. But my biggest passion has always been the astrology and the healing with gemstones. So I kind of find the use of gemstones a nice way to support areas of challenge in your birth chart. If you're interested in a reading with me, please connect, send me an email or call, and we figure out the best way how to do that. A new moon means that we are starting into a new round, a new cycle of emotional self-awareness. So it's a new beginning, and it happens in the darkness. So it's not as spectacular as the full moon, but in a way it might be even more important because it has this freshness of a new start. And then, of course, it takes on a different quality of frequency, of energy, depending on the sign the new moon is happening in. So here it is all happening in the dark and mysterious Scorpio. So the new moon in the sign of Scorpio, you want to think deep, dark, and intense. It's true mysteries which are in the depths of the Scorpionic people. In the zodiac, Scorpio is the second of the water signs. It also represents the eighth house, and it is associated with the deep inner workings of the psyche, of what's just under the surface. So here you have the symbols for the signs, and they're not in order because they're done by a designer, not by an astrologer. So the first water sign is Cancer, which is in the first place here. The second is Scorpio, which is the third symbol here, and then the third one would be Pisces. Scorpio is actually a sign, one of the zodiac signs ruled by two planets. So the newer ruler is Pluto, and we look at Pluto as an archetype of the god of the underworld, the hell realms. And then Scorpio is co-ruled by Mars, the traditional ruler. And Mars kind of is more the intense outer expression of Scorpio, while Pluto relates more to the inner psychological intensity and depth. Therefore, the archetypes for Scorpio is the shaman, the psychologist, who in our newer society has kind of taken on the position of the shaman, the detective, or just any kind of charismatic leader who has this little extra pull and attraction, usually has some scorpionic or plutonic qualities. So with Scorpio, we look at the inner world as a whole hidden dimension of emotions. So deep psychology, the complexity of the human personality and psychic dynamics, that is Scorpio territory. So here we have an intuitive, deep, intense, soul-searching orientation. So there is a strong emotional need for truth and honesty. As we have discussed before, every sign has a high-end and a low-end way of manifestation of the principles. So the Scorpio shadow has to do with abuse of power and charisma. So here we have the archetype of the dictator, or the wicked witch, the sorcerer, the seducer, or the master manipulator. So these are all dark dimensions of the Scorpio. I not only love to teach about the nuts and bolts of astrology and do these forecast readings along those lines, but I'm also very excited to really present how to live those specific energies on the high end of possibilities. So how you can ride the wave with Scorpio. This is what I want to take a little time to talk about. So first of all, this is a month where we are invited to be more honest with ourselves, to truly connect with our deeper, strong emotions. And it's a time, because we are more in touch with those usually more hidden layers, it's a wonderful time to do some deeper inner healing work. So healing being a keyword here, let's look at the physical dimension of that healing. So, because Scorpio relates to the digestive tract and our intestines, so it's a good month to do some physical healing related to through detoxification. It's a good time to do a deep cleanse, like a colon therapy or doing some coffee enemas, and get that old stuff out of there on the physical level. And usually it happens in alignment with some inner processes of clearing and getting rid of old stuff. So with the moon and sun in Scorpio, it's an invitation to rethink what it really takes to stay healthy. I mean, we're all bombarded with so much toxicity in our environment, in our food. We eat a lot of processed food, there isn't much nutrients or aliveness to it anymore. So it takes some smarts to really stay on top of what it takes for your body to stay healthy. So one suggestion I have for you is to optimize your food with fermented foods. You can go to Dr. Mercola and you can see his videos about how to make fermented foods yourself. And I've implemented that for years already, and I love my sauerkraut. It's tasty and it does me good. Another thing is exercise. Regular exercise. We all sit too much, so we have to find a way to balance that. Another area is sleep. Most of us don't get enough sleep. We're all busy, busy, busy. And yeah, so think about what really your ideal amount of sleep is. It's said 8 hours. For me, it's more. So just to be aware of what it takes for you to really feel rested in the mornings. Then this whole area of stress. We all are exposed to a lot of stress. So what can we do to clean that out? So stress busting outlets are very important. So sport can play a good role there. Yeah, so I just want to turn your awareness into that direction. And one very simple thing to do is to optimize your vitamin D levels. So as you might know, the body produces vitamin D when our skin is exposed to sun. And how often is that gonna happen? I mean, without clothes, a lot of skin exposed to the sun. So that is probably the reason why most people are deficient in vitamin D, and it has a lot of plays a lot of rules in our health and our body. So have your vitamin D checked, and probably you want to take some. So the whole idea with Scorpio and the high potential of Pluto is the phoenix out of ashes. So this is the archetype of going deep inside, of burning the old, which we don't need anymore, and then the young eagle coming out of the flames. So it's a very powerful archetype for Pluto and Scorpio. So opal is one of the true birthstones for Scorpio. So it will be a stone to help that deep intensity to mellow it out a little bit, to help us to go deep in a good way. So in general, we can say the opal connects us to our own unconsciousness and to all the treasures we might find in there. So the precious opals are always mixtures of all the outer planets. But the bolder opal, which is the one you see here, and the dark blue opal, black opal it's called too, these are the ones which relate the most to opal and those deep transformative qualities. So I will put together a video just for the opals, so I will give you the link later and talk about opal and what opal can do for you in depth. If you're really interested in astrology, I'd like you to know that I do teach astrology classes for beginners once in a while. So it could be something you're interested to learn for your own inner process or to start a new career. Either way, connect with me, send me an email, and I will let you know about the specifics and when the next training is going to start. If you haven't done so, now it's a good time to go over to my website and sign up for your subscription so you can get your free horoscope and your love stone report. If you do like my video, please like it down there, leave me a comment. I always love to hear back from you, and it helps with the ranking too. So thank you for visiting and appreciating my work. It means a lot to me. If you like to connect with me about a personal reading, give me a call at 808-878-8182. Remember, I'm in Hawaii. Or send me an email through my website, mauiastrologyreading.com. I'm so looking forward to hear from you. Thanks for visiting. And as we say here on Maui, aloha.